Se vaan hyvin jättää nyt taustalla. On ne joku semmoinen, että välillä tarvitaan tässä siinä.
Okay, hello everyone. Gather up your seats and let's get started. I'm excited to see so many of like-minded people here today in the first ever Tampere Web Development Meetup. My name is Antti Mattila. I come from Futurize and I'm a web geek developer slash wannabe designer. And
my name is Antti Tarvainen and I come from Leonida. And our companies also happen to sponsor this event. So although this is not their event, but they have given us money. This makes us happy. In addition to so.
yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Well, I don't have too much to say. Antti will go through the practicalities, so I guess I will go to classic Ava Kisat.
Okay, good. Since we mentioned Futurize and Leonidas, there's also two other instances that have been very helpful in organizing this. You are now sitting in Uusi Tehdas new factory, and obviously this wouldn't have been possible without the help of new factory staff. And then there's this organization called Devamo, which is kind of small at the moment, but growing, and it's going to be the hub of programmers in Tampere, and so events like this are organized in collaboration with Devamo, especially when they are here in New Factory. And if you want to know more about Devamo, ask Carol over there. If you want to know more about Leonidas, ask me, and if you want to know more about Futurize, ask Antti.
Or Mike.
Or me.
One of the organizers here.
Hey.
Oh, yes. Okay, then a few practicalities. It's nice to see so many of you here. How many of you have made yourself a badge? Who doesn't have a badge? Raise it. Because I want to know how many of you are here. Okay, there are 100 badges. Okay, cool. So it means there will be lunch for everyone. The schedule is over there, and it looks like the track 1 is now full. This here is track 1. If there are going to be any presentations in track 2, that's over there behind me in a smaller room. About 30 people get in there. And so the slots are only 30 minutes long, and there's no time between them. So if you're presenting something, be prepared to do your stuff in about 25 minutes. Okay, there will be lunch at 12. It will be in Bella Roma. I trust most of you know the restaurant Bella Roma down there. And if you don't, ask someone. And it's going to be free, and it's a buffet. It is there's only one choice, and it is chicken. So if you have some diet that that you feel that's probably going to be violated if we are going to have that dinner or lunch, please come and tell me, and I'll see if we can organize it. When you make a mess somewhere, please clean it up by yourselves, because we have promised that this will be in perfect order on Monday when New Factory people come back and we don't like cleaning up ourselves. The toilets are over there, back there, and yeah, I think that's about that. The after party, there's not going to be like any official after party, but if you want to know a place where there probably will be others from here, that's Plevna. Hashtag is Trevor over there. The Wi-Fi password you can see, for example, over there on that home over there. And are there any other questions or anything you want to know? Cool. I think that was everything.
Okay, and as it happens, my presentation is the first one, and I guess I'll get started. And do you hear my voice, or should I use the sexy microphone?
Use the mic.
Use the sexy mic.
Sexy mic.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
Okay. Sounds better? Yes.
Very sexy.
So, let's see. I wanted to talk a bit about design in browser. So, well, you already heard who I am, and that's where you can find me. Oh gosh, I'm nervous. I haven't done this before. So, design in browser. What it exactly means?
Antti, I think that the microphone died. So sexy.
Okay. Let's see if it has.
Now it works.
Are there any spare batteries?
It works in end.
Yeah, but for how long? Let's see.
Yeah.
How about this?
Tuolla pyörällä pojalla
Okay.
on siellä kaikki.
So, what does design in browser mean? It means that HTML, CSS, and JavaScript are considered as first-class primary design tools over something like Photoshop or Fireworks. We still have Photoshop or any other image editor that acts in a supporting role. This is not a completely new thing. You might have heard about this sometime in 2009 or something by a British web guy called Andy Clark. But I think it's a matter that's worth talking about now in 2012 because some events happened in 2011 that make it worth discussing about again. So why would you want to design something in a browser? Well, sometimes when you present your Photoshop mockup to a client, you get to hear things like, I can't click on this. And of course you can't click on, or you can click on an image, but nothing will happen. There are certain things that you have to go through one by one, like if you hover your mouse here, a pop-up will open. If you click that, you will go to this page and things like that. And it's also impossible to demonstrate any kind of transitions or animations with Photoshop. Also, if you happen to do websites for a living, why would you want to try to sell images? Do you think that they're faster to build? Perhaps someone is faster in Photoshop than in CSS, but after all, you're going to have to translate your design to markup anyway in the end. This is big. The customer might say, after you deliver the final product, that this is not what I ordered. The fonts look different, or why does it look like this on my Symbian phone from 1973, or my brother's IE7 machine or something. And yeah, it's a valid point. When you design a picture of a website and present that to the customer, you are essentially setting up the expectations of the customer that the website will look exactly pixel perfect like that in every browser, in every environment, and especially with all content that's possible. And this is, of course, horribly wrong. You might have seen the website, something like www.does a website have to look like the same in every browser.com? And of course the answer is no, it doesn't have to look. You can embrace the differences since the end user will most likely not notice the difference. He's not going to use more than one browser after all. Of course, you can make the website look pixel perfect. In some cases, it's even mandatory to do it that way. But then it usually will cost more, and usually the customer will know that and will be able to pay you the price. then, Photoshop is not a browser. So when you are designing a website, you'll have to be designing for the correct medium, or actually in the correct medium. So when you are designing in Photoshop, naturally you don't necessarily think of the difficult edge cases or interactions, because Photoshop is made for designing pretty things to look at, not something that you can actually use. That's just the nature of Photoshop or any other insert your favorite image editing in here. So this can be a problem if you are, especially if you are a developer and you get a design from somewhere else. Now you have a static image and you know, okay, this is how it's supposed to look. But what should happen if let's say, one headline runs a bit too long and wraps to 2 lines or something like that, if the content changes. And yeah, that's a pretty big problem, especially with designers that tend to, let's say, choose the content optimally for the Photoshop layout they are doing. They can adjust the kerning and everything and choose the lorem ipsum just the way they want. But that's not the case in real life, as you will probably know. So HTML and CSS makes you tackle those problems right away, because after all you have to tackle those problems. So why not do it in the first hand? Yeah. So the browser is the final context of the product. So why would you want to estimate the final result first and then go through the hassle and write in the markup? Also, in a more practical point of view, some things that are easy to do with Photoshop are not necessarily that easy to do in CSS, for example, everything that's not a rectangle. And of course vice versa. If you happen to work in Photoshop doing some designs and you have a box that has rounded corners, and then the customer says, oh, change the border radius a bit, oh, major pain in the ass. But with CSS you can just one line, F5, and there you go. Also, anything that's a change that needs to be repeated to multiple elements. For example, if you want to change the color of every other line in a table in a Photoshop mockup, or line height or something, you have to do it one by one, and it gets tedious really fast. But compared to CSS, it's like, you know. And of course, there are things that are impossible to match, like all Adobe products are very known for the fact that they render fonts or text in a very different way from any browser, actually. So don't get me wrong, Photoshop is a lovely piece of software, and I use it every day, but I wouldn't actually, rather I wouldn't design it. Yeah, it's made for image manipulation, but then there's this one big thing.